Did you know the average person spends about 26 years sleeping in their lifetime? That's 1/3 of your entire life spent in bed. And if we count the hours between our head hitting the pillow and actually drifting off, it's estimated we spend another 7 years trying to get to sleep. But maybe that comes down to what you're sleeping on. I mean, would you fall asleep faster on a bed that rocked you to sleep? One that defies gravity? Or one that's also an aquarium? Well, pull up a pillow and get comfy, because we're about to take a look at some of the most unusual beds I'll bet you've never seen before. Novel idea. If you've ever struggled to get to sleep, you've probably been told that reading a book will send you off to the land of Nod in no time. But what if you could get stuck into a book at bedtime, literally? Sounds weird, but Japanese photographer Yusuke Suzuki decided to combine the fun of reading with the relaxation of bed and created this one-of-a-kind book bed. She came up with the idea of creating a fold-up book bed to support Japanese families who lack space for lots of furniture in small apartments. The bed can open and close like a real book, and when it's opened at night, the pages act as duvets and pillows, while during the day, it can be used as an interactive playmat. Well, that's certainly one way to get into a book, I guess. One side only. What position do you sleep in? Are you a mattress starfish, or a stomach snorer, or a pillow spooner? Maybe all three. On a normal bed, you can switch around as much as you'd like. However, this extraordinary mattress only gives you one option. Created by British visual artist Dominic Wilcox, this is a bed that only allows one person to sleep in a tightly curled fetal position. Ah, the ultimate bed for single people. Dominic created the artwork at college and used his own body as a template to make a statement about how we use objects in relation to our bodies. I mean, it looks comfortable enough, as long as you remember not to turn over in the middle of the night. Stained glass sleeper. Now, Dominic wasn't done with just making one statement. During the London Design Festival back in 2014, he unveiled this multicolored mattress. Sorry, madness. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Let's unpack this. It's actually a driverless car designed for the roads of 2059, where Dominic believes driverless vehicles will be the main mode of transportation. And without the need for humans behind the wheel, they'll be able to use their car space for things other than driving, like sleeping. Yep, this is the stained glass, driverless sleeper car of the future. Because Dominic believes driverless cars will be much safer to travel in than people-piloted vehicles, the traditional safety elements won't be required. So instead of any protective measures like a metal frame or airbags, the roof of this portable bed is made up of hundreds of stained glass panels. They're the only thing separating the sleeping occupant from the world whizzing past them. Okay, call me crazy, but considering some driverless car owners have recently been caught sleeping in their cars while on the move, maybe Dominic's onto something. But what do you guys think? Which of Dominic's weird and wonderful creations would you prefer to take a nap on? For the ultimate single-person bed, hit that like button. And for the stained glass sleeper, hit subscribe. All done? Great. What have we got next? The ultimate position. I really hate falling out of bed. I move around a lot, so it happens surprisingly often. However, if I had the Hold Me bed from Tov Design's IG collection, I don't think that would be a problem ever again. The Belgian product design studio, founded by Tom de Vrieze, created this prototype bed which holds a person in place by having them lay in a deep foam cutout of a typical body. No moving, no rolling, no falling. Problem solved. Although it looks like it could be a little uncomfortable after a while. Not to mention it's a little awkward when more than one person tries to get in. But hey, safety first. Egg-centric. They say when you grow up, it's time to fly the nest and move out of your parents' basement. But with rent prices so expensive these days, maybe it's best to stay in the nest. In fact, you can literally sleep in one. Designers at OGE Creative Group came up with the bird-brained idea to create a bed in the shape of a giant nest. The bed is filled with enormous egg-shaped pillows, stuffed with beads which mold to your body. The frame of the bed, on the other hand, is surrounded by a pine wood border that looks like a woven bird's nest. The nest bed comes in multiple sizes, ranging from 6.5 feet to 11 feet across, with the largest model able to sleep up to 16 people. Now that sounds like one excellent slumber party. That said, these things don't come cheap, starting at a wallet-busting $4,200 and going up to $7,500. So it's probably best to keep saving up your own little nest egg instead, so you can eventually fly the coop, or in my case, basement one day. Dream float. Oh man, the idea of being able to literally slip into bed with all the surrounding watery comfort of a nice warm bath sounds so inviting. And it's exactly what this mattress promises. Want to know what it's made of? Well, it's a revolutionary technology known as Photoshop. Yeah, this bed isn't actually real. It's a visual art piece created by photographer Frank Utenhove. But though this bed may be a fake, there is a mattress you can literally slip into, and it's called a weightless bed. Now don't worry, it doesn't put you on a crash diet. Rather, it's weightless by the physics definition, which means something only has weight when it's subject to the force of gravity. An object is weightless when gravity no longer applies, like astronauts floating in space. And when gravity no longer applies, things start getting freaky for the human body, with astronauts losing up to 1.5% of mineral density in their bones every month. There's also a loss of muscle mass and differences in blood pressure. Now, NASA has gathered a lot of data on how weightlessness affects men in space, as almost 90% of astronauts have been male. But NASA lacks an equivalent amount of data on how weightlessness affects women's biology. To rectify this, back in 2021, 20 female volunteers tucked themselves into waterbeds for 5 days to recreate some of the effects of zero-G on the body. The volunteers laid down in containers similar to bathtubs, covered with a waterproof fabric to keep them dry and evenly suspended in the water. As a result, their bodies experienced supportlessness, something close to what astronauts feel while floating in the International Space Station. For the experiments, volunteers limited motion of their bodies, with only their heads and arms free above the tarp. Volunteers had to spend almost 24 hours a day in the immersion tank, limiting their movement as much as possible. And while that sounds super boring, the volunteers stuck with it, and the results have given us better insight into the effects of spaceflight on women's bodies. But you don't have to be a NASA astronaut to try a weightless mattress, because waterbeds exist. Your grandparents might actually have one in the attic, as they were a huge craze back in the 70s and 80s. They've since fallen out of fashion, but a company called Starpool is bringing back the waterbed in style. They've invented the Zero Body, a massive water-filled bladder inside an upholstered frame, so that when you climb in, your body is enveloped. You get that bath time feeling without getting wet. And if you lie in it long enough, the effect is similar to NASA's experiments, making your body feel weightless. It's a futuristic spin on a retro classic. Hopefully this is the last 70s trend they try to bring back. Nobody wants a bed with a perm. Bite. Do you ever forget to brush your teeth before bed? Well, now there's a bed that reminds you, because acclaimed professor of design Ron Arad has created a bed shaped like the head of a toothbrush. Okay, technically it's a sofa, but considering all the foam-filled bristles that you see here bend, I'm not sure how you're meant to sit in this thing. You're much safer lying down, even if it does give you the perspective of a crumb of food just removed from someone's teeth. This was a one-off design, though I get the feeling if more had been made, they'd have been a big hit with dentists. Bed head. Now, when it comes to mouth-themed beds, there's one that really bites. No, literally. It's known as the bed in your head because it's designed in the shape of a giant vampire's mouth. Created by artist K.S. Lewis, it's constructed of 8 upholstered lip sections that surround a wooden platform, which acts as the dentures for over 40 foam-filled teeth. That's 32 regular-sized human teeth and 8 fangs hiding the supporting poles of the bed's canopy. What's more, 8 of the bed's giant teeth can be removed to act as tooth stools. The lips and teeth are upholstered with marine-grade vinyl, and the gums have special UV-protectant stain-resistant coat. Fully assembled, the monster mouth bed is 13 feet long and 12 feet tall, giving this giant mouth plenty of space for people to lounge on a queen-sized mattress. It was first displayed at the Burning Man Festival in 2005, where it was surrounded by brain neuron sculptures that displayed video dream sequences. But things got even trippier as later motorized moving cupcakes also swung by the exhibit. This art is so weird, you'd think you were dreaming. Cutout bed. Would you sleep on a bed frame made of cardboard? Surely not. I mean, it would collapse under your weight, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. Though many of us think of cardboard as a flimsy, unstable material, it's surprisingly strong. Corrugated cardboard is constructed of paper in a zigzag-like pattern, held in place and secured with a layer of paper on either side, called fluting. These separate layers are fixed firmly in place with glue adhesive, which provides greater rigidity and strength to the cardboard. And the company Room in a Box has put cardboard's malleability and strength to the test, as they've created the Cardboard Bed 2.0. Constructed from the highest quality heavy-duty cardboard, it's able to support the weight of a person up to 220 pounds. And the modular design also makes it easy to adjust the size, so you can adapt it from a single to a double bed. And if that wasn't enough, a cardboard bed is really good for the environment. Compared to a normal bed, it takes 8,000 times less energy to make and ship than a regular bed. Due to its low weight, transporting it is 4 times more climate-friendly than a standard bed. And with a range of colors, you'd be hard-pressed to realize you're sleeping on cardboard. Room in a Box has also designed sustainable cardboard furniture ranging from tables to shelves. There's just one catch: don't let it get wet. If it gets soggy, water causes fibers in the material to break down. So don't go keeping a glass of water on the nightstand. Whopper mattress. Ever wanted to sleep like royalty? Well, it turns out you can. If the royalty you had in mind was the Burger King, yep, it's a bed in the shape of a burger, but not just a burger. The Bunderful bed comes with only the freshest, most comfortable ingredients: tomato and gherkin pillows, lettuce and cheese blankets, a patty mattress, and a sesame seed duvet. For just $1 extra, you can order it with your own hamburger Jesus, the real American dream. Only kidding. That's actually artist Philip Haight, who created the first photo-documented hamburger bed back in the 1970s. Just like fast food restaurants, sandwich beds are popular, as there have been a few different versions over the years featuring everything from BLTs to fried chicken burgers. Now, if you're tempted to buy a hamburger bed, then you should know they're more expensive than a Whopper. A lot more expensive. This bed costs a hefty $8,000. That's more than 1,900 burgers. Talk about a whopper of a price tag. Lazy goals. One of the most annoying chores is having to make your bed. I mean, you do it every morning, and then at the end of the day, you get back into bed and mess it all up over again. What's the point? Luckily, Inventors as lazy as me have mustered enough energy to put the work in to create a self-making bed. At the International Exhibition of Inventions in Geneva, Switzerland in 2008, Italian inventor Enrico Beruti showcased an invention known as Selfie, a self-making bed. The bed makes itself by stretching and smoothing the sheets over the mattress by using metal rails that connect to the sheets alongside the bed. Though this idea is far from original, as demonstrated by a version created by Ukrainian inventor Vitaly Izotov, he also invented a self-making bed back in 2009, which you can see here carefully pulls a comforter across the mattress, straightening it so it's tidy and completely effort-free. With technology like this, the future's looking bright for lazy people. Catitude. Cats spend between 12 and 18 hours a day sleeping. And to them, every free surface is a napping spot, from the radiator to a pile of fresh laundry to your lap. Cats see the world as their mattress. But have you ever wanted to turn the tables and find a cat to sleep on? Yeah, how would you like it? Don't worry, no cats were crushed by me lying on them to make this video. What I'm actually talking about is this creation by design studio team Unfold, who made this giant cat-shaped sculpture. This mega kitty measures over 11 feet across, making it large enough to fill a whole room. It's made of soft felt material, thus making it a perfect bed for a literal cat nap. Okay, after curling up on this thing, I could see why cats find my lap so comfortable. Seabed. Sleepin' with the fishes is usually an ominous phrase found in a gutsy gangster movie. But it doesn't have to be such a sinister saying. Instead, sleepin' with the fishes could be done literally with this unbelievable aquarium bed. Not only is this one super-sized fish tank, but, according to the creator, it's also a bed that's structurally sound enough to lie down on. Built with tempered glass, which is 4 times stronger than regular glass, and supported by the bed's painted concrete frame, it can easily support this guy's weight. Of course, this bed is more show than function, as sleeping on hard glass is a recipe for a sore back the next morning. Besides, putting on a mattress, sheets, or duvet would obscure the fish, ruining the effect. So, pretty, but ultimately pointless. Though this isn't the only aquarium bed design out there. If you're still keen to have some fishy company, then you can sleep underneath them instead with this aquarium bed headboard. This giant 650-gallon aquarium from Furniture Land South is custom-made to order, with room for a whole school of fish. That said, this bed is only for deep sleepers. Otherwise, you're going to be kept awake all night by the sound of the aquarium filters cleaning the water. But if that doesn't put you off, the high cost might, as this aquarium headboard comes in at a staggering $11,500. So if you really want to sleep with the fishes, then you're probably better off with a $10 goldfish bowl on the bedside table. Woolly Wonder. I sure hope I don't get another knitted jumper from my grandma that I'll never wear. But maybe I could suggest Grandma challenges herself to knit something on a larger scale, like a new bed. That may sound a bit extreme, but where there's wool, there's a way. As demonstrated by the company Fat Knits, that has taken knitting to the next level with these super-sized threads. The designer behind these colossal threads is fittingly called Bauke Nautilus. Kinda sounds like a knitted dinosaur. The process of knitting these giant threads requires a team of up to 4 people using PVC needles up to 13 feet long. In other cases, the fabric pieces are knitted by hand. Though these fat knit threads aren't made of your typical balls of yarn. Rather, the interior structure is actually a polyethylene tube with a knitted cotton sleeve on top. Some pieces consist of a single giant knot, while others could function as an abstract chair, whilst there are other larger blanket pieces that are perfect to sleep on. Other works are disassembled pieces of string that you can knit together yourself if you're up for a serious arm workout. I might stick with knitted sweaters, otherwise my grandma will need to get seriously jacked to make this thing. Dreaming of art. Have you ever fallen asleep in a weird position and woken up with a dead arm or pins and needles in your leg? Man, I hate it. Well, to prevent this, maybe I should sleep standing up. Okay, I admit that doesn't sound like the most comfortable solution until you see this bed. You could just walk straight into that and fall into a cozy upright sleep. Unfortunately, this is not a commercial bed for sale. It's actually a visual art display created by Brazilian artist Ernesto Neto. His work explores the connection between a medium and the physical body, with an emphasis on how we touch and feel. And in doing so, he's managed to make the most comfortable-looking bed in the world. Though, for those who aren't keen to sleep upright, his other works include this incredible pink, mattress? At least I think it's meant to be a mattress. It's made of sand and styrofoam with an outer plastic coating, allowing visitors to sink in and decompress any stress in this interactive exhibit. Though Ernesto didn't stop there, he's also created the world's weirdest— are those pillows? These polystyrene sculptures are designed for you to slip inside, like the world's weirdest backpack. The meaning behind the art is for visitors to feel connected to the idea of embracing female and masculine organs while wearing these pillows, which only gets grosser the more you think about it. But if you ever get tired walking around this art gallery, then Ernesto's creations provide the perfect spot to snooze. Float away. Ever lost something so far under your bed that you need to move the bed to find it? It's such a pain. But what if instead your bed could just float out of the way? That sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's actually a reality. This anti-gravity bed is the result of 6 years of development by Dutch architect Jan-Jaap Rooijessenaars, working with Baker Magnetics. Using the power of permanent, opposing industrial strength magnets to enable it to float, this bed can hold up weights close to 2,000 pounds. That's strong enough to support 10 people, give or take. 4 metallic cables attached to the bed are the only contact it has with the ground. Most importantly, these cables assure the magnetic bed stays above the magnetic field. Otherwise, the opposing magnetic force would make it slide off and crash to the floor. Sounds like a painful way to get out of bed. Though others may be more worried about sleeping in such close proximity to powerful magnetic fields. Though the magnetic field above the bed is weaker and relatively harmless, the magnetic field below the bed is far stronger and could possibly disrupt medical implants like pacemakers. So this bed is literally not for the faint of hearted. On top of that, this bed is reserved for one class only, the mega rich. When it debuted at the Millionaires Fair back in 2006, it was revealed to have an insane price of $1.6 million. The bed may be magnetic, but that price is everything but attractive. Though if you're still interested in the idea of sleeping on thin air, well, there's a less expensive and magnetic version for you to try. This is the Flutua, a bed that appears to be suspended in midair. But actually, it's the result of a single central support beam that you can only spot looking at the bed from certain angles. The height of the bed can be adjusted, making it easier to clean and for air to circulate in the bedroom. Though it isn't exactly cheap either, costing $4,500. Maybe it's best to keep those prices down with a normal bed. Zip, and away. Invented way back in 1892, zippers have since become so common that we barely realize how often we use them. From zipping up your jacket, to zipping shut your suitcase, to zipping up your jeans. You're flying low there, bud. But you see, that just goes to show how often we use zippers. They make things so convenient. So why not apply zippers to something we also use every day? Beds. Well, one Italian design company has. Though, strangely, they're called Florida Furniture. I guess they haven't heard of Florida Man in Italy yet. But fittingly, they've done something weird, creating the zip bed. Zippers run along the entire edge of the bed, so the cover itself is completely detachable and can be used as an extra blanket. And instead of wasting time in the morning laying out the duvet and patting it down so it looks nice, you can simply zip up the cover across the mattress beneath. Now, I would tell you the price of this weirdly zippy creation, but the company seems to have gone out of business. Gee, I wonder why. Bubble bed. Have you ever tossed and turned at night, just completely unable to get comfy? Instead of constantly rearranging yourself, why not rearrange the bed? Trade in your boring square mattress for this modular bed known as the Daydreamer by designer Chang Sung Fung. The outer 9 balls of this couch are filled with low-density foam, while the other 40 balls are filled with high-density foam. Between each set of 3 balls, there is a gap through which one of the 9 perimeter balls can be squished and let go to expand. So the bed can be reconfigured into multiple positions. Go on, move these balls around, give them a good squeeze. Or if you're looking for something more colorful, then you could go with the similar Feel Seating Deluxe created by Animi Kaza. Constructed of up to 120 large balls, it can be used as a bed or rolled up into a couch. That said, these big balls come at a big cost, retailing at $13,950. Man, that's pretty expensive. But rearranging those balls looks really fun. Wait, why are you laughing? 2-in-1. Okay, not everyone can afford a home with endless amounts of space. Some of us have to be economical when thinking about furniture, which is what makes this next sofa bed creation so cool. It was created by Bonbon, a company invested in maximizing functional storage space with design. With space saving in mind, they've created the DOC Sofa Bunk Bed. Though it may look like a simple couch from the outside, with one simple movement, the couch can be lifted and folded up and out into a set of bunk beds. So you can turn a lovely night on the couch into a sleepover with a buddy. Well, if you can fork out the $6,000 price tag, that is. And then you have to fight over who gets to be the top and who's the bottom. This is just double the trouble if you ask me. Rockabye bed. Babies are known for being difficult to get to sleep, but if there's one trick that always works, it's gently rocking them in your arms. And it turns out that's a sleep hack that also works for adults too. In a 2011 study conducted on 12 male adults, participants rocked to sleep not only fell asleep faster, but had a boost in sleep-related brain waves. It appears we never grow out of wanting to be gently rocked to sleep. But climbing into a baby's crib as an adult isn't exactly an option. Thankfully, companies such as Private Cloud have created adult-sized rocking beds. This rocking bed is constructed from a wooden frame that has been carefully bent to produce this rounded base that allows the bed to rock back and forth. But if you start to feel seasick or get fed up with the rocking movement, then you can fix the bed on wooden feet. However, models for a rocking bed aren't cheap and will put you back at least $3,000. For a homemade option of a rocking bed, you could just shorten one of your bed's legs. Though, don't blame me when the whole thing collapses. I'm a YouTuber, not a carpenter. Bedsicle. Getting into bed is a great way to warm up. But what if your bed is made of a literal ice block? Well, this frozen bed can be found in the Ice Hotel, a famous tourist attraction in Sweden. As you can probably guess from the name, it's an entire hotel carved from ice. The hotel is rebuilt each year from December to April. From over 990 tons of ice and 30,000 tons of snow are harvested from the frozen River Torn. Over 40 artists from all over the world are invited to submit their ideas to construct new hotel suites, halls, and a reception area. The structure remains below freezing point at a brisk 23 degrees Fahrenheit. If you check in as a guest, then you can even sleep overnight. But don't worry, you won't turn into a human popsicle. Though the bed frame is carved from ice, the bed you sleep on has a mattress upon a wooden base, complete with reindeer hide blankets and pillows. Alternatively, if you don't want to embrace the ice, there are also warm rooms available, though that kinda beats the whole point of visiting an ice hotel, in my humble opinion. Peace of mind. Sleep is supposed to be a healing, regenerative process, so why not go the extra mile and balance your inner energies by sleeping in this yin and yang bed? This spiritually inspired bunk bed was created by Italian designer Alessio Papa, which allows you to balance your inner chi as you doze. Though it's probably not that comfortable sleeping on such a steep curve. Also, because there's no rails, whoever's on top risks having their chi disturbed by falling several feet onto the ground. So less yin-yang and more crash-bang. Sleep disco. I, like many people, love to listen to music in bed. But wouldn't it be even cooler if the bed could play music to you? I mean, why just listen to the beat when you could feel the beat? This custom sonic bed, a bed that appears as a large wooden tank, conceals 6 subwoofer speakers beneath the mattress. So, when you lie down, music reverberates up from beneath you, with the vibrations of the speakers massaging different parts of the body for a rhythmic, soothing effect. An additional 8 mini speakers are built into the panel borders, which are raised 9 inches above the sunken mattress. So anyone lying there is perfectly encased in surround sound. The sonic bed was commissioned as part of the Music for Bodies research project, an experiment that seeks to understand the effects of different audio frequencies on different parts of the body. Lying in the sonic bed, you can have the laziest rave possible, but put on some techno, and you're in the perfect position to bust out the worm. Sleeping at Six Flags. Surely there's no one out there who would fall asleep on a roller coaster. With all those twists, turns, drops, and loops, it's hard enough not to scream, let alone catch some shut-eye. But this is a video covering the world's weirdest beds, so, of course, one set of designers has made this happen. The Cuban designers, known as Los Carpinteros, or the Carpenters, have taken the idea of an extra-long mattress to the extreme and created this roller coaster bed, known as La Montana Rusa, which literally translates to Russian mountain. It's a common term in Spanish for roller coaster, allegedly because the first roller coaster was made in Russia. But enough linguistics. Let's get back to this wacky bed. It's constructed of stainless steel with a pink foam mattress. Yet as outlandish as it looks, it's still possible to sleep on, given the various flat sections between the mattress hills. Though the ingenious design duo have invented another bed that's impossible to sleep on unless you have a slinky spine. With this bendy blue bed sculpture known as kama, which literally translates to bed, though with this topsy-turvy mattress you wouldn't know which side to get out of. The Carpenters aren't just obsessed with making beds to torment insomniacs, rather their sculptures are designed to explore the intersection between art and society, the idea being to take everyday functional items and make them usable with a creative twist. But why would you want to make a bed unusable? Or a roller coaster boring enough you fall asleep on it? Honestly, as both a roller coaster and a bed lover, this is one piece of art that I just don't get. Which of these crazy beds would you most like to sleep in? And do you know of any weirder beds that I may have missed? Hey, let me know down in the comments, and thanks for watching.